Hello, Divine Feminines. This is Blue Moon Goddess. I am on here to talk to you a little about relationships. I had some downloads, some revelations today, because relationships is, our main goal. Love is our main goal in life. Even if we deny it, even if we don't really want it, it really is. Our main goal is to find unconditional love eternally, and that's what our soul wants. That's what it was born, created to do. And with the main focus being spirit, God, our higher power, whatever you want to call him, but our creator created us to all be as one in love with one another. And a lot of our lives, even when we don't want it to, is driven by this quest for a perfect love. But then we're born onto earth and we have to endure what the plan of earth is, the plan of our incarnation here on earth is. And when we're children, we are exposed to many things, and to some it's trauma, to some it's not. Every person can be, you can have 5 people in one situation and everyone can interpret it different. That's why we have brothers or sisters and they talk about their experience as a child. It can be totally different than yours. You never know, because all of us, all of our souls, all of our spirits and our bodies interpret things differently. You, as you, one person, with your 3 elements to you, can interpret a moment different. So that's why you can have a reaction and then go back, meditate on it, come back out with a different perspective of what happened. So all of this affects love. It affects our relationships. And then we're an adult and we want to find that perfect mate. We take all of our history of Earth and previous incarnations and bring it into that relationship. And they do the same thing. And this is why we have conflict, we have healing, we have everything involved in a relationship. It's because of our history, and it's also who we attract to ourselves. It's based on our childhood history, basically. It's based on our energies, which is affected from our childhood history. And honestly, past lives, unfortunately. So what I've noticed lately is this huge focus on attachment types and codependency and narcissism. There's so many labels out there. Because as humans, we just try to make everything easy. We're trying to figure it out, what's happening. Then we have twin souls and higher soulmates, and there's all kinds of things. Every time we meet someone that we're attracted to, we try to put a label on it. So I think this encompasses why we have so many problems. And there's so many relationship coaches out there. So let me just let you know, I'm not claiming to be a relationship coach. I am in this world like everyone else, and like everyone else that is a relationship coach, because they have some success and they help others have success doesn't mean they are the all-knowing. Every single relationship is unique. It's not a group effort. I think I read that somewhere. They're like, a relationship is between A and B is not a group effort. It's really not. I mean, look, if you're in a physically abusive relationship, something that can hurt you, then that needs to end. There are certain boundaries that are just unacceptable. But and that with me saying that, that's not believed across the board, by the way. So every religion, every belief, every person, everyone has a different take on how a relationship should work out. So I would just want to encourage you then to take note onto whatever you're going through. Go to your inner self. Go to your higher power to figure out what to do. That's your number one source. If you are very in an emotional state, though, like something happens in your emotional state, it's hard to listen to your higher power, your inner self. You let yourself calm down and do it. There are some things I noticed today. I have been in a very confusing, difficult relationship for 2 years. 2 years. And through my journey with it, I've discovered the twin flame. And, you know, I have just as many doubts as some of you if you're going through it, if it really is. But I'm at the point of, in my journey, of it doesn't matter if it is or isn't. So in the beginning, I met this guy, fell for him, just knew he was it, just knew he was my person, knew we had so much in common that how could there be anyone else? Like, this is Mr. Perfect for me. How can he not see that? I mean, I think he saw it in the beginning. He probably still sees it. But 3 months in, he broke up with me out of the blue. And it broke my heart. Bad. Well, I'm old enough to have been in a lot of relationships. In fact, I've been married twice. But this one was bad because I just knew we belonged together, right? And then as time went on, we obviously got back together, had great times. He'd pull away again. Back together, have great times. He'd pull away again. So I'm looking like, is this guy a narcissist? Is this guy a player? Is this guy whatever? But then I'm hearing so much stuff from spirit and the synchronicities, the numbers, the messages I'm getting. And I'm like, I've never had more support from the universe for a connection. And that's what kept me in it. And I look back and go, Spirit, why? I journaled this. Why did you keep me in this, knowing how much hurt it is? And it's because it was for the purpose of my ascension, my spiritual ascension. So when you hear them say it's not about the romantic relationship, it's about the spiritual ascension. Well, this is how God got our attention, right? By the in and out, the hot and cold, the roller coaster of this relationship that pulls at our innermost, highest soul. Like, everything about us. Like, the moment you meet this person, you can't think of anyone else. You can barely work. You can barely do anything. And it's horrible and great at the same time, because I can look back and just be like, I'm blessed to have it. I can look back and say, like, I could have had another relationship. It could have been fun, passionate, very 3D, but I wouldn't trade this for the world. This relationship with my twin flame, the depth of it, I wouldn't trade for the world. It really is amazing what it's done for me. And I hope he feels the same way. Now, we are in communication. Not great right now. And I do believe that's because we had to learn some important stuff. And from what I've read what I've learned is the divine feminine leads the way of healing. Now my divine masculine, he is a spiritual person, and he actually was on the path way before me. But the way the masculine and feminine embrace spirituality and learn and feel it is completely different. It's on different chakras, so you could research that. So I know he talks to spirits. When spirit's telling me things, I remember saying, Spirit, why are you not telling him this? Why is he leaving me? Because if you told him this, he would not be leaving me, right? From what spirit tells me. I don't know the communication with him and spirit, but I do know it's probably different than me and him. His growth is going to be different. So, as a divine feminine, they say we lead the way in healing, and a twin flame there's two theories on this. It's one soul split in two, or it's one soul double reincarnated. And if you're both here, it's reincarnated at the same time. But the one thing in common is it's it's you. It's one soul. So when you heal yourself, you heal them, the runner or whatever. The last couple of days though, I have noticed a lot of messages coming to me about um um oh gosh, why am I spacing? Avoidance. And when I look at the information on the avoidance, I'm like, this is definitely him. He's an avoidant personality. So then I'm like, well, what do I do with an avoidant? And then there's all this information about just leave them, or here's how you get an avoidant. And I started to fall into that trap. But then I remembered who I am. I remembered who he is. And we're twin flames. And so what I did was I went inner with it and thought about he's my mirror. So am I an avoidant? And when I really looked into it, yes, I realized I am an avoidant too, which is also why I attracted an avoidant, because you're safe by attracting an avoidant if you are also avoiding emotional intimacy, right? Because he's not that, your partner's not going to give it to you. And you can blame the lack of relationship, the lack of intimacy on your partner because they're being avoidant too. And it makes it turn, like in my situation, it turned me into the chaser. I'm chasing an avoidant. If I really, really wanted a stronger connection, I probably just went gone, and I've had choices to someone that was open and willing to have that strong connection. That's one way of looking at it. Now, in the twin flame arena, to heal childhood injuries and avoidance come from, basically, from what I understand, having, at least for me and him, we have this in common. We both came from very strict fathers that really put boundaries on us growing up. And so our avoidant issue is, and we're both like this, is like, don't tell me what to do. Relationships can represent being trapped and a loss of freedom. I've always felt that way, and that's exactly how he feels. So whenever we start getting close, whenever we make plans, it seems all great, but he runs. He literally always runs after we make long-term plans. And I know that that's because his avoidant personality comes out into it. So what do you do with that? Well, as a twin flame, and I can only speak for a twin flame, I can look at myself too and say, yes, he's my mirror. So I took time today in the bath, because I'm a Pisces and I relate to the bath, to the water, and I believe in the power of the water. And I did my inner child healing to transcend the avoidant energy into an open-hearted love energy. And then I thought about stories. And when I'm envisioning that, then a little bit of fear came up, and then I said, okay, I'm going to transcend that, use a violet flame. I'm going to throw my fear in there and change fear to joy. This is not fear. This is excitement over the joy that we're going to have in this open-hearted relationship that's going to give us an abundance of freedom, a new path and freedom and joy and peace, and an expanded, free, joyful future. So that was my transcending today. And that's my little twin flame speech of the day. And so now I pulled cards, and let's get into it, pulled the Muse of Emotions. And when I looked up what that means, it means that you have taken your negative, angry, hurt energies and transcended it to love and abundance and material. And it says right here, the tower, the tower is like, mind-blowing download information. So this is what happened earlier. I had this downloading, mind-blowing information about our relationship, and then I transcended it, right? And now I'm manifesting and spending the day manifesting my new relationship with my twin flame. and I'm very excited about it. Um, and just embracing the energies of the moon and the sun. I heard that in 2024, we need to embrace the sun energy. And I'm a moon person. I embrace the moon energy all the time. But in 2024, we're supposed to remember the sun, embrace the sun energy. And here's the other thing about the twin flame dynamics. The moon represents the feminine energy and the sun represents the masculine energy. So right here, this card is telling me, these cards are telling me that both the masculine and the feminine are having tower moments and transcending their energies to create an abundance of love and wealth and materials. So that's it for today. I hope you resonate. If you do, let me know. Put a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave me a comment. If you like a personal reading, put that in the comment as well, and I will send you my information. Thank you.